In this incredible 17-part series, we take you down a Blender workflow deep dive by using mostly free open-source software like Blender, Google Maps, and Panui. You'll learn how to create a stunning 360-degree virtual tour just like this. So, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get stuck in. This is Lesson 5, Blender, Scaling and Orienting at the Image Guides. This is the, I'll do it from here, I'll give you a top shot. So you can see this is a Google map of the section of this area that I'm building this neighborhood. I'm building all the buildings here, basically all this, and on either side of the street. I'm gonna have the camera come down through here, go around, and all this. So I've already done this section of the neighborhood. I've done this one, and this is the one we're working on today. Just want to give you a basic idea of what I'm working on right here. So this section. Now the reason then we got to do it just to make things easier, because it's very difficult if you don't, is to see your X, Y, your green and red arrows here. So you want to line up the best you can with the front of you. See, this is the building right here. You can see this was that corner one. You'll see when I start dropping these in, that's the edge. I want to try to get that red line lined up with that, because when you start building, it's just so much easier to build off the perpendiculars instead of trying to do it in place. And then later on, when we have the entire map together, I can put it where it's the way it's normally oriented, and then drop the buildings in and then do all the stuff later, but because it just makes things easier. So anyway, so this is the lineup. I'm going to try to do it like I said. I'll come in this way, just get an idea of so that's that corner. There's a little kind of a cut edge of that building, then it goes down here. And what I'll most likely do is I'll do that corner, and I'll first I'll just line this, build that. Even though this kind of goes off at an angle, I'm going to go straight on this one and that one, and then I'll take the building later and just kind of slide it over to match it. Just to, like I said, to build these. So the first one is this. On the X, I'm going to start dropping these. So what I usually do is it's very simple. Like I said, I got the PNG. It's there in the folder waiting, the one we made in Photoshop. Everything should work fairly good, and you can see kind of here's the edge of the building. To prep these up, you might want to go into Photoshop and take the Google map and give it a bit more high contrast, so you can kind of see what's in it better. So skip these lines. Sometimes it's a bit blurry, and you got to do it this way, so that's kind of what you're building to, is the actual kind of this terrain type of map. So first thing I do is, just like I said, this first part's fairly straightforward. So very similar to what other people do on their tutorials. It's the next part where I start building off of that and using those, instead of using the image itself and insetting and doubling and doing all the stuff off the image, and then just kind of doing a UV wrap and then using the image as the building. I use the image as a guide, and then I build the building off of that, using as much as I can off of it, and then it just looks better. Like I said, if you want to just do a quick building, you can do that. But like I said, maybe if I might do that with some of, because I have some buildings down here I just need off in the distance, I might take those buildings and do the same thing, just kind of just actually use the picture, the image, put it on, wrap it around a cube, and then just so you're not going to see them, so it's just to have something there. I might do that, I don't know when I'm going to get to that point, but today is just more about getting this in. So anyway, so just bring in your images, just do your mesh, and you'll come in here and you'll see the image mesh plane. So bring in his mesh plane, and comes in. That's where I make, so there we got textures, and then so there's row 1, so I'll do this one first, and just bring it in, boink. And this one is going to be on this on the Y, so I'll do as a quick turn that around and try to scale it up. So that is RZ, I think it's 90. Let's see, nope, let's do -90. Do that. So escape RZ -90. There we go. And I'll come over this way, and you can see that's the thing we built. And I'll do is I'll come down on a more, and then I'll do yeah. And there's my scale, so you can see I just got one of these other. I think it's somewhere you can get them on anywhere. This is just a scale human being, just to kind of get an idea. I don't know why that he's naked. Should he? have some clothes on, but whatever, that's what we got. So anyway, 3. So then I come in, and I'll usually do is there's my I think it, let's see, maybe this is the runway. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I want to do is I'll come in here, I'll just go in tonight, edit, and I'll see if I can get that. So I have my horizon there, and I'll just put that on the edge as much as I best I can, and now click out. So you can see that there is, when you take a look at the ground plane on the thing, it's I'll put it as the closest one here, and you can see there is some sort of a hill because the ground plane, and I'll fix that later. But for now, we can just I'll just drop these down, and I'll do the ground later, so I'm not worrying about that. Anyway, I'll get out of edit mode, go back up here, and then I'll just scale this up. And the best way to do it is to kind of look at where this is. Let's see, excuse me, I'll slide over here. So you can see over here, and that's the edge. So there's that edge there. So this edge, see that little kind of little triangle? It's that edge of the triangle. I'm going to stick it over there, and I'll scale this up. So I'll go S to scale it up as much as I can. And I think that goes up way bigger than that. Scale bigger. There we go. Slide it over. Because the end of there's that. The end of the where the driveway starts. Say, here's the building, and then there's like kind of the back garden, and there's a kind of a driveway alleyway through here. So I'll mesh slip. So that's that alleyway, and there's the building. So I can, if I can scale it the best I can this way, I'll bring that in, and there's the edge of that. Like I said, it turns, so it looks like that might be a little bit too big, and I'll adjust these a little bit more. I'll bring it down and bring it over. It's just for now, I'll leave it like this, so I get an idea. And then you can see once you bring your human scale in, that this guy, you can get an idea whether it's too big or too small. There's a human being right there, perfect. So I got a human in this one, so I can probably get the scales that way too. And then when I bring the whole thing, you'll see this is kind of a front here, and that's like, I guess it was the next one, so I'll just do that. Now I'll bring in the next one to come image / file. Let's go number 2. Oink, put that in. Now this one's will be a little bit tricky. I think this one's a 45, so that's that little section. Again, I'm going to come in. I'll go to this thing. I just going to bring it up a little bit so that the edge of that's on there. There it is, like that. It gets me an edge, right? That's where the bottom of the right there. You can see right here. I'm just trying to match that line with the bottom of this. So if I just want to make sure that's as close as I can. There we go. So that's there. Yeah. So that I just want to get that edge on there. I know it's hard to see because you get the planters, but that's pretty much it. So it looks good. Now I know that that's on there, and again, I will do a scale on this. I'm gonna look around here, and I'll just scale this up. Now the thing with this one is, this part of the building, you can see it's kind of a cut, so I think it's a 45. So I'm gonna stick this on a 45. There's my edge, and then the next one starts. So I'll do our Z, because I was spinning it, and then I'm going to do I think it's 45, so nope, it's going the wrong way. So yeah, so it's a negative 45, or Z negative 45. Boink, there you go. And that should, so I give an idea. Now if I come up this way, you start to see how that edge and this edge are the same. So I'll do a 1, and then I'll just spin around this way. So it looks like that's going to scale up anyway. So I'll scale it up a little bit more. And I'll match these. I got another one coming in, so that between the 3 of them, I'll be able to. So I'll do is I want to move this into place. So I'll do is I'll take my thing to local. That way I can kind of head and see if I can find this edge. What I want to do is put that edge really on this one, because this is the one I really want to do. This is going to be, I'm going to move this later. See, this street kind of goes, it's not a perpendicular street. It actually straight here and then kind of slides in more at a different angle. So I'm going to wind this up so that that corner is my tight corner. I want to make sure that stays as close as possible, because that's the one I'm going to really work off of. That's the one that kind of locks it all in. That's the key. So I'll just make sure that that corner, and I'll do this, I'll eyeball this for now. Like I said, this is not to be, I'm not going for accuracy in my, just want to make sure I got this. So that's that corner right there. See right there? I want to make sure that this corner right here matches with it. And it looks like it's fairly close. Slide it over a little bit. And what we'll do is I'm going to take this one and then touch this one, and I'm going to see if I can get these together that way. And I'll move this later on. Let's see if I can just get that up to this way. Can you see how I'm trying to put these together there? You'll see. Now these aren't going to be my buildings, it's just my guides for the building. I just want to see if I can, in this way I can kind of get a good idea whether these are coming together in the right heights. It looks like they're fairly straightforward. It looked like they're pretty good, so I can do a 3. There, look at that. So they're almost the right size. And once they're together, I can then scale them together. So we'll scale it up a little bit. Scale. So I might get that top of that roof with that roof. So they line up pretty good. And now the next one is I'm going to bring in here, this one, so you can start seeing how I'm building this. Now what I'm going to do, like I said, I'll use these as guides. This is where I'll start pulling out the doors and windows, and then really basically I'll put in a cube, and then I'll build the building, and I'll do the roofs later. Except it's just more like a Western TD set where you see the facades, the backs. I'm not really getting deep into this. I'll just stick in. So most of my camera work's going to be low. Like I said, I built this part of the neighborhood already. I'm building this, and then I've already built this one. The last one I'm going to do is over here. All right, so the next one, we'll bring that one in and do the same thing, and then you can see, and then from that point on, I'll start building up the doors, windows, these facades, these types of things. You know, what I might do is once I get these things scaled, I'll take this one and I'll go pretty perpendicular. The build off of 45 will be kind of a nightmare. You could do it, but it's not fun. So I just want to scale everything, and then I'll take this one that's at a 45, build it, and then bring it back in. So it just makes things easier for me, or easier if you're going to do something like this, just to do as best you can, so that it all works. That's looking pretty good. You know, see, it's like I said, it's pretty straightforward, and yeah, like I said, it's you know, depending how much detail you want to get into, just get pretty cool. So we'll do the last one. If you got something out of the tutorial, please hit like, and even better, subscribe so you're notified as more are uploaded. And if you'd like to explore the finished project, click on the link in the description below.